This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
Disney Plus wants to know, are you ready?
Yes!
For Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, now streaming on Disney Plus.
Let's do this.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Hey, you weren't listening to me.
I said Thunderbolts, The New Avengers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Meet the New Avengers.
That's cool name.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, rated PG-13, now streaming on, you guessed it, Disney Plus.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl. I'm supposed to be up at night. But you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Xyzal. You see, Xyzal works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
We may live over 5,000 miles from Lincoln Financial Field, but what we lack in proximity, we make up for in film study, and each and every week, we'll be bringing you in-depth film breakdowns from across the pond and the Sooner State. Welcome to On the Shane Page. I am your host, Shane Haff. You can follow me on Twitter at ShaneHaffNFL. And I'm joined by BGN's own film guru, Jonny Page. Give him a follow on Twitter at JohnnyPage9. Johnny, how you doing this evening?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say I'm good, but I'm okay. If my voice is a bit cracky, I do apologize. I decided to fight this man flu for about a week. And apparently when you don't sleep or rest, it doesn't go, which is strange. Also, Shane, what did you do to the time on this one? The poor people in the comments. What? So explain yourselves. Explain yourself. What's going on with this incorrect timing?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when I created the stream, it didn't take the time I set it for, and it just said it was going to start in 10 minutes. And the Patreon asked me about that, and so I did fix it later. But yeah, it initially said that we were going to go live 4 hours ago. So apologies to the people
to get you into
relying
the
on
Patreon
YouTube.
Yeah, it's a secret trick to get you into the Patreon. You get everything over there. Yeah, we're recording a day early, which is really bad for the schedule. So apologies to Shane, because it's my bad. I am working all day tomorrow, so I'd have no time to squeeze it in, which all that does is just makes a very ill man just watch film twice as fast, because we then have to run through the tape extremely quickly. So I had a very busy yesterday. Some of it I wished I did not watch. I was very ill on Sunday and watching the Eagles laying on the sofa feeling sorry for myself that first half. I was like, why am I doing this? Especially when I was doing the post-game show. I was like, do I have to do this? Could I not just go to bed now? But anyway, the Eagles won. They're 3-0. So we're obviously great and nothing's wrong with the Eagles. And there's nothing bad to analyze at all this week, Shane.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, GDN10.
We got some great comments here.
As always.
We've got it's 10:30 somewhere.
Yep.
This is why you joined the Patreon. Got some salutes. Tim is still in the chat. 254 is the new 1030. So yeah, we're ready to dive into it, and it is a little abbreviated. Our prep, I guess, was a little abbreviated. We will normally be going live on Wednesday afternoons, but we were able to get through it all, and so we're going to dive in. You guys know the drill. We'll give you 3 points on offense, 3 points on defense. Jonny, let's just hop into it because we have spoken about trying to get these shows a little closer to an hour.
Yes, because
let's jump in.
Because we have so much on Patreon these days. If you want even more, there is loads on there. Can I just very quickly say, Shane, to anyone listening at the early, we always do plugs at the end. The player spotlights we've got on Patreon and the sideline past here are awesome. So this week you did AJ Brown, and it was really, really good. For anyone that's watched it, I'm sure they would agree. And I would just like to say, as someone who has never been in the preview game before, so this is my first year watching the opposition film, I feel like both weeks I've had a really good sense of what each team is going to do. And just personally, from my own research point of view, it's helped me. So I think if you watched this week, for example, you'd have realized that you'd have been scared of the Rams front as well. And I think I nailed a lot of the stuff they do on offense and defense well. So if you're not in the Patreon, there is a lot of cool stuff in there. Waffle done. Let's begin.
Yeah, believe it or not, in the preview, Jonny actually called that you should be watching for the Eagles blocking back-to-back field goals in this game. So it's just stuff like that. No, I totally make that up, but great stuff that Jonny does there.
Yeah, real film guys love the new special teams rule because they haven't got a clue what's going on. So I'm just like, I don't understand why Tank Bigsby can't catch the ball. I don't care. Wherever the offense starts, I'll start from there. And I block special teams out of my mind. But there we go.
Yeah, me too. I say that I've watched every snap the Eagles have played on All-22 film for like 5 years, but that does not include special teams because I always filter by the quarterback being on the field. So I guess excluding special teams. But let's dive in. Let's hop into the offense first. Tale of two halves. And my hope is that the Eagles do not walk away from this and say, well, Matt Pryor was bad and Fred Johnson was good, and so that's what happened, because that's not what happened. But let's dive into it, and we'll talk through some of the things. And Jonny, I'll lead us off here. And honestly, you can probably count on me using this as a point nearly every time that the Eagles have more than a few snaps in empty, because I love empty so much. But empty is such a cheat code for the Eagles. And so I'm just going to show 3 plays. They ran more than 3 plays out of empty. But before I get there, let me just give you some stats. This season, the Eagles have positive 0.466 EPA per attempt when passing out of empty. They have 0.087 on all pass plays. So it's like 5 times better when they pass out of empty. They have a 66% success rate out of empty versus a 40% success rate passing not out of empty. And that's not even getting into the run game things you can do out of empty with Hurts, because they haven't done those a lot. They tried it once in this game, and it was just poor blocking. But why I like empty so much is that it forces the defense to declare what they're doing. And so on this play, they motion Saquon Barkley out, and you get empty, and you get a slot cornerback at the bottom of the screen. And I don't know why my screen just did that, but that's okay. We get a slot cornerback at the bottom of the screen creeping up. Hurts knows that he's going to blitz, and you get a safety stepping down over him. If you have Devontae Smith running against a safety, you can just throw that out route all day, and you can get 5 or 6 yards. And so I love that they will do stuff like that. I just think it makes it really easy. On this next play, what you get is, again, we're down near the goal line, and you're going to get Kylan Granson running just a streak to clear this out, and you get a slant route from Devontae Smith. And unfortunately, on this one, Kylan Granson just gets jammed so badly that it doesn't really open up the space, because this could be a walk-in touchdown if Granson's able to get into the end zone. But, on 3rd and 12, it still gets you 11 yards and gets you to a QB sneak range. And then we get, of course, the play that wins the game. It's going to be the slot out to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is just your empty specialist, I guess. They put him in the slot. They're going to run him on the out route on 4th and 4. Hurts makes a great throw to the pylon, and the Eagles win the game. And so my first point I wanted to talk about was just that the Eagles are awesome out of empty, and they should continue to get into empty to spread defenses out. And there's some cool run game things you can build into that off of the QB running game. They just haven't chosen to do that very much yet.
Yeah, imagine if they started running from empty as well. Yeah, I'd like to see it more as well. I know it means you can't run the ball, so I know it's predictable in that sense. I think teams will start to key on Devontae Smith running that quick out because he's done it so much, but then you build on it. Actual sequencing, not galaxy brain sequencing like we were told was going to happen when they eventually ran a shot play from under centre. I appreciate you starting very positive, Shane. So let's bring down the tone a little bit with my first point on offense. So everyone's probably wondering, like, what the hell happened? And to be honest, read the film threads. You watched the game live. Everyone that's probably here, you can see it was bad. I made my point minor details, and now I'm looking back and I'm like, no, that's wrong. It should be major and minor details, because some of the details of the offense were horrendous, but there was also a few things I wanted to get into that were just minor. Normally I show like a play or two, but I'm going to go for a few very quickly in a row because these are quite quick ones to get into. So if you start with play 3, Shane, everyone who's ever watched any NFL knows that two receivers should not stand this close to each other, and what they both should not be trying to catch the ball at the same time. That doesn't take much analysis. So the Eagles, I believe, get blitzed here, if I remember correctly. Yet they do, which I spoke about in the preview a lot. Hurts gets the ball out really well. The ironic thing is it could be a good pass to either of them. I think he's going to Devontae Smith, personally, and I think Dotson gets in the way. And I'll call this minor details because this is no way this is a coaching style saying this is the play that's going to be run. This is an adjustment to pressure. And this is about knowing what you do. You can see Devontae Smith talking to him there. This is about knowing how you handle pressure if there's an adjustment. So if Hurts goes, right, if they blitz here, Smith's got to run a quick out. You have to plan for everything. And this is more of a major problem. But this is just an error. Like, I don't know who. Again, the joy of watching film is that I can't tell you who. I don't care if it's wide receiver coach, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, Jahan Dodson, whoever it is, I don't care. But it's a fault. And if you watch NFL Field and you see that, it's pretty abysmal. And yeah, we'll get into the middle of the field later on because I thought Hurts threw well to the middle of the field in this game, despite the fact we're constantly told he can't do it. So that was play 1 of minor details. Now we'll get into major details. This was first down, play 4, and then play 5 is second down. And I do genuinely mean this, and I'm not kidding. I've watched film for probably about 12 years now, the All-22. I don't think I've seen a worse sequence on first, second, and third down. So first down is this play where I think it's A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert literally run the same route. Like, if they're meant to be different routes, if that's meant to be a high-low, someone explain to me who they're high-lowing. I mean, then there's nothing else. Barkley runs this little swing route that he's run the past few weeks, but this time the Rams are just literally sitting on it in the flat. And there is literally nothing. And then this is what really annoys me, right? I haven't watched a lot of coaching clinics on playing out of structure, but I can tell you for a fact that we've said for years the Eagles suck out of structure. The basic way that I've ever been taught for how to play out of structure, and there are multiple ways, is I always think if you've got 2 receivers, short, middle, deep. Someone comes short, someone goes deep, someone goes intermediate. Both the short and middle need to come back to the football. The deep guy needs to stretch them. I've said before that the Eagles need to make their out of structure more in structure, which may not make sense to people, but you can practice this. This is something on the coaching field you can practice. You can tell receivers, right, when the quarterback breaks the pocket, the furthest forward, who here is Dallas Goedert, get forward. I mean, A.J. Brown looks like he genuinely doesn't want the ball because he knows if it's thrown to him, it's going to be a pick because he knows he's in no man's land. So he's like, I don't want anything to do with it. Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith sort of half jog over to the sideline, and in all honesty, it's bad. It's amateurish. You've got 2 guys running the same route, and then Hurts is such a mobile quarterback that we do so little outside of structure throwing the ball. And he's looking down the field here, and Devontae Smith basically covers himself, and then Dallas Goedert runs straight into Devontae Smith after it. None of them want it, and that's really poor. That is something they have to coach. So that's first out, right? Then you get play 5, which is play 5, which is the very next play. So this is, after what you just saw, this is second down. This is A.J. Brown genuinely, and I'm not blaming A.J. here, by the way, because again, I don't know the context, genuinely having no idea what he's doing, like not a clue. You have Darius Cooper and Dallas Goedert literally running the exact same route again, and you have Matt Pryor blocking nobody and Saquon Barkley failing to pick up a rusher. Like, when you talk about, like, is it the offense or is it Hurts at times of the passing game, it has fully been the offense the first 3 weeks. Whether you're a Hurts, like, top 5 guy, top 10 guy, top 12 guy, he has been put in some horrendous situations. And you can see he's frustrated. He's like, what the hell are we doing, guys? Like, this is poor. This is like, Sirianni always bangs on about fundamentals. Forget how good you are. Forget how good your preparation is. This is just rubbish. This is amateurish. And it's not something you expect to see. I got two more plays, Shane. I know I said we're being quick, but this is by far my biggest point. Play 6, again, we want to talk about minor details. I'm not criticising Fran Duffy here, because it was Fran Duffy's reporting, but he mentioned about your point about the Eagles always running under centre to set up play action, and he said that some coordinators have told me it's a good thing to be predictable, which we've joked about being galaxy braining it. Well, okay, here's the under centre play action. They've been setting up Shane for 2 weeks, and the Rams don't even bite in the slightest. They're running post-cross. We've all seen post-cross before, right? Yankee concept, whatever you want to call it. The Rams are playing too high, which means that they're probably going to be able to lock down both those routes with any good communication. Where else is Hurts supposed to go? You're running a 2-man route concept. What do you want the QBs to do? In the end, he actually throws a pretty good ball, and I actually think AJ could catch it, despite Hurts apparently not being able to throw to the middle of the field. But give him an option. Like, it's basics. Have a check down, have a guy block, have a tight end block, and then release to the flat. You do not need that many guys in to protect a 4-man rush. Like, I talk about minor details. Anyone can call Yankee. There's nothing wrong with a post cross. Like, the Eagles might score a touchdown on it from under centre play action in 2 weeks, and we'll go, what a call. But what you have to have, Kurt Warner bangs on about this. What's the plan versus X? What's the plan versus Y? We haven't got the coverage we want here, so what's the plan? And there is no plan. The plan is, well, Hurts better just squeeze it into A.J. Brown in a really, really tight window. And I think he actually does a really good job throwing it early. There are things you can do if you plan for this. You can have Barkley flatten out into the flat or whatever. There are things you can do. And finally, as if it wasn't bad enough at all, this is the one that annoyed me, play 8. And this is a little bit more technical, this one. But in simple terms, a lot of people probably watched this live and thought, why wasn't it open? So the Eagles are running a 3-level stretch. Call it flood, call it sow, call it whatever you want. They are sending a deep vertical route to Devontae Smith. Jahan Dotson is running a sail route, flood route, whatever you want to call it, a corner route, which means Dallas Goedert is running a flat. Now, you've seen this play run in the NFL thousands of times. Hurts throws a really nice corner ball. The reason why this nearly gets picked is watch Dallas Goedert release. And we had a good chat in the Discord about, is he being... And I don't think he's being lazy. This is my point about details. I think he's almost faking he's going to block and he's faking he's going to chip in order to slow down the edge rusher before he gets out to the flat. But he doesn't look like he wants the ball. And he's so slow out. Look at where the flat cornerback is on this play. Look how far away he is. So basically, Hurts thinks he's got the coverage he expects, but the guy is not threatened in the slightest, which means Hurts has to throw it and it nearly gets picked. And also, as if, Shane, all of that wasn't bad enough, they decide to have A.J. Dillon pass protecting Jared Verse one-on-one. The Rams don't do anything funky at the line of scrimmage. If you watch the Rams back, they don't move anyone around. They don't run a great twist. They literally have 5 men lined up, and the Eagles decide to shift to the right and leave Jared Verse wide open. Nothing changes here. You can see number 8 pre-snap. He's right there. And I'm guessing, once again, it's a flaw. I'm guessing this is not deliberate, but I don't know. I don't care, again, who it's on. Running backs coach, Jalen Hurts called in the protection. I'm not here to blame. I'm just saying they don't take the finer details seriously. And if you want to be a great offense, you can't just rely on talent. I don't actually think the second half was that much better. And that might shock some people when I say that statement. I think the second half was just Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown going nuts. I didn't think the scheme changed dramatically. I think they ran more 3-by-1, which we'll talk about. And they did do some things better. They stopped running the condensed stuff. But on the whole, and that was a very long point by me, but it is my longest one, the Eagles passing game doesn't do the basics well. And spacing errors, errors for play action, players not running any route at all in A.J. Brown, players running the same route, players not running their routes hard, which is a thing I think the Eagles have an issue with. I think too often when guys are running clear-out routes down the field, they don't run it at full speed. Whatever Dallas Goedert's doing there, whether he's been told to fake a chip, A.J. Dillon in pass protection, it was all wrong and it was all off. And I think Batulo's going to get the blame because that's what happens in life. When you're the top guy, you get the blame. But I think everyone should get the blame. I think Stoutland should get the blame for some of the O-line performance. I think the receivers coach should get a blame because his guys are not ready to play. I think everyone should. Probably with the exception of Hurts and A.J. Brown in terms of actual performance. I would blame every single member of the offensive coaching staff. The first half was that bad. I won't talk anymore because you've already showed a clip of Emmanuel Forbes getting beat, and the whole preview I watched, I just said, just watch Emmanuel Forbes, he can't play. And the Eagles in the first half acted like they'd never watched a Rams game. It was truly embarrassing, and I don't say that very often about a passing game, and I rarely criticise coaches, but it was really, really poor the first half.
Yeah, and so you mentioned the second half wasn't a lot better, and it really wasn't. And I'm going to talk, my second point is going to be about A.J. Brown. And I did the player watch along for A.J. Brown. That's what our Patreon members voted on. It's in our sideline pass tier of our Patreon if anybody wants to join. I just watch every snap specifically from A.J. Brown's perspective. And you know what's crazy, Jonny? Imagine how frustrating it would be to be one of the best receivers in the league. And he has, at the point this video starts, we're in the third quarter, trailing 26-7, and he's had one target, and it was a slant from the 2-yard line where he was interfered with.
Yeah.
Like, that would be so frustrating.
I know.
And to be honest, at points, watching the video, I was like, I don't even know what to talk about because it's a pass concept to the other side. It's a run play. Like, there's not a lot to evaluate. But they finally got A.J. Brown going. And so, here we go. We're in a 3-by-1 formation. He's at the bottom of the screen. Single high coverage. That means Emmanuel Forbes is an off coverage. How about we just run an out route and attack outside the numbers with A.J. Brown? That's easy. That's easy, and it's always there. And now we've got, guess what? Single high. A.J. Brown at the top of the screen. How about we hit him with a double move, a little sluggo route? And you know what? That safety was keying on A.J. Brown's side. He's on that hash. He's immediately looking over here. Opens this way. It doesn't matter. Hurts puts that ball right on the money. One-handed catch from A.J. Brown. Even when he's covered, he's open. Right? Now we get him solo in a 3-by-1. This is like the clearest pressure look you will ever see. And they're just going to go back shoulder to the front pylon. You can't stop that. You literally cannot stop A.J. Brown with one guy. And watching the video, doing the pass game review, the player spotlight, there were times that I would see like this look pre-snap and be like, oh, this ball's got to go to AJ, and it didn't, and it would just make me angry because it's there. Single high coverage, AJ Brown at the top. We've threatened vertically. Now this guy's backpedaling. Let's run a curl route. Good timing. Bullies him at the catch point. Shakes 2 guys off. Gains like 20 yards after the catch. Like, again, you cannot stop A.J. Brown. And then again, we've got him split out outside the numbers. Thank you very much. Off coverage. Let's run another curl route because you cannot stop it. And he breaks the tackle and gets up the sideline. Going into this game, Jalen Hurts had attempted 0 passes in the intermediate area of the field, which is 10 to 19 yards. He targeted A.J. Brown in this game 4 times in that area, and he had 3 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown doing so. Overall, Hurts was 7 of 9 on passes over 10 air yards for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half, and that has been there for the first 3 weeks of the season. And they waited until the second half of the third game when they were getting trounced to pull it out. And I hope that they have realized that it wasn't just a Fred Johnson thing. It was we called a different offense. We got guys outside the numbers, and we let Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown play buddy ball, and teams can't stop it. Because that's what the Eagles should be building the whole plane out of in their passing attack.
Yeah, I don't think A.J. Brown is the most diverse receiver in the league compared to some of the guys like Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he is the best outside of numbers one-on-one. I genuinely, and I'm not kidding, and I know I talk about simplifying the Eagles' offense, I'd be quite happy to line him up outside of numbers every single play, run an out, a comeback, and a go. Basically just run that, because corners can't stop him. And I don't want to keep harping on the preview, but I swear to God, Shane, Emmanuel Forbes couldn't handle anyone. He's been thrown into the starting lineup. He couldn't handle anyone. That guy had no chance of stopping AJ. We talk about football being easy. It was the most obvious matchup-based passing attack you could ever run. You handed it on a plate, and the Eagles didn't take it. I think you're going to talk about 3-by-1 as well, aren't you? Which was another big part of that after as well. I will Let's stay on the negative. I want to end with a positive on offense. Let's stay on the negative. I just want to talk about the offensive line, and I could play like 50,000 clips for this, but I'm just not. So there's a few things that it's basically a combination, in my opinion. I'm not going to blame Barkley. So it's a combination of a lack of a QB run game, lack of gap scheme, which I do not understand. You posted yesterday 20% gap scheme this year, 40% last year. Don't get it. Don't get it. People in the comments can ask me why. I got no idea. Absolutely no idea. Don't know where QB counter bash is. Don't know where counter is. The amount of times they ran like GH counter last year, just don't get it. No idea why. So there's two things, scheme and then just the offensive line. If you look at play 2, this is an example of possibly the worst idea of a run play you'll ever see in your life. Running split zone and asking Grant Calcaterra to block Jared Verse is embarrassing in every single way. And I can't quite talk about like how you expect anything to ever go any different. If anyone's ever watched Jared Verse play, he's about as physical as an edge rusher I've ever seen in the past few years. He rocked Jordan Mailata in this game, and I mean rocked him. Like, Mailata is stumbling back into the QB. If he can do that to Jordan Mailata, let me tell you, he is going to handle Grant Calcaterra 99 times out of 100. So you get this issue with a scheme, but then quite simply, Shane, the blocking's just not very good. Like, it was hard to watch. If you just go to play 7, because I've already spent enough time being negative, so I'm not going to show another play. There are more plays on Twitter. You've covered a lot more on your thread. Firstly, scheme design. If anyone can genuinely explain what Darius Cooper is doing here, please, and I'm not blaming him. He's obviously by design. He's running a motion, but he's not drawing anyone across. He's actually being asked to block, and he ends up running around like an absolute child, basically trying to catch up on an assignment that he's missed. Landon Dickerson, it was rough in this game. Like, you want the truth, he was rough. I think the Eagles might be better off sitting him for a few weeks to get him healthy, because there's no point playing him at this stage because he can't play. And I really mean that. I think he gave up like 6 or 7 pressures, and he was getting beat badly at times. There is no pop in the run game at all. He doesn't even bother helping Jordan Mailata here. He doesn't even stick out an arm, a hand. When do you see an offensive guard go to the second level on a zone play and not even touch the guy? I mean, Jordan Mailata is asked to make a reach block to a defensive tackle who is significantly further away than him. He gets rocked back, nowhere for Barkley to go. Darius Cooper's standing there like he's not been told what to do. Lots of questions about run game. I don't get it. Stoutland is still there. Jacko commenting, only took 22 minutes for me to mention QB counter. I don't know what to say about it. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what to say about it. Scheme is bad. And Mark, I'm going to come back to condensed formations later on, by the way. Scheme is bad for the run game. Scheme is basic. When Hurts runs, it's better. And they had a few Hurts runs in this game. And guess what? It was better. They started reading the edge. And they're just not blocking well. Tyler Steen is not Mekhi Becton. I think he's fine in pass pro Steen. He's not a mauler. Cam Jurgens is not a mauler. And Landon Dickerson can't block at the moment. So if they're your 3 interior guys, where's your push coming from? You're not getting any. Every defensive tackle is basically playing stout. And how do you then use Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steen? You pull them. Run outside zone, pin pull. Run counter. Pull these guys. Get them in space. Don't just run standard outside zone. And I know Jason Kelch has spoken in the past about basically a lot of the pin pulling stuff they do from outside zone depends on the defensive alignments. So what I mean by that is Jurgens might not pull if a guy is like head up over his nose, for example. Well, then teams are obviously keying on what the Eagles are doing, and the Eagles then have to adjust, because you can't just basically say, well, all right, if they line up in a certain way, we can't run X concept, because they're basically running standard inside zone and standard outside zone on 75% of their run plays, and they've got no interior push. They can't block it well. The tight ends can't block, and the 3 guys in the middle are not strong enough to push back a defensive line. So the running game won't get fixed unless they take a long, hard look in the mirror, just like the passing game, and decide, how can we actually change it? Because at the moment, it's not good enough.
Jonny, what Eagles offensive lineman played the best game on Sunday?
Good question. Jurgens or Steen, I would guess.
Yeah, to me, Tyler Steen was the best Eagles offensive lineman. And as a Tyler Steen guy for the last 2 years, that's not a good thing.
No, and also Paul Jordan Mailata, run, tackle, trap. Do you know what I was thinking? Remember we used to run wham, trap.
Yeah.
There's other things you can do. Guess what the Rams have? An incredibly aggressive defensive line. Guess what you can run to take advantage of an incredibly aggressive defensive line? Run trap. run wham, run crunch. There are other concepts. Run duo if you're struggling. They're just running outside zone and inside zone over and over again, and it's not working. Forget pistol, forget under center, forget shotgun. It doesn't matter where they run it from. It's just not good enough so far this year. And it's really weird because, yes, they lost Kellen Moore, but the run game wasn't Kellen Moore anyway. It's Jeff Stoutland's baby. It has been for years, so I haven't got an answer as to why.
Yeah, I'm with you on all of that. Let me get to my third point. I want to talk about going 3x1 out of shotgun. And so we all know that I dislike 2x2 mirrored route concept, stuff that doesn't influence each other. Like, I know you got to be able to do some 2x2 stuff, and we talked about it last week a lot in the Discord, a little bit on the show, that you can't just live in 3x1, but I do like 3x1. However, when the Eagles went 3x1 in this game, something I discovered was they threw the touchdown pass to A.J. Brown as the ISO guy in 3x1. They threw an out route to A.J. Brown as the ISO guy in 3x1. Outside of that, those two passes to A.J. Brown as the ISO guy, here is every snap of 3x1 from shotgun for the Eagles. And I just want you to watch what they do. We've got RPO bubble. We've got RPO bubble.
Yeah, I think Hurts missed a few RPO bubbles, by the way, as in he could have thrown a couple later on. But anyway, they still work. I think this is the one I think he could have thrown.
RPO bubble.
That's the one I think he could have thrown.
And I'm not sure they're even reading it so much.
That's what I wonder as well. I wonder if they are bubble. RPOs.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say this offense
with a
lacks
bubble?
creativity?
Yeah, this one's weird. This one is weird, Johnny. Like, they run the bubble on the backside, but how could Hurts ever possibly throw this? Because it's on the flipped side. So that makes me think they're not even reading it.
I agree. They're just there for numbers. Look at them blocking in front of Devontae. I agree. I don't think they're even reading it half the time.
And then this one, they don't actually put the bubble because Devontae's going to come in and try to block. But so pretty much what the Eagles do from 3x1 out of shotgun is they either put a tight end on the line of scrimmage and it's a run play with the bubble behind, or they put A.J. Brown out wide as the isolated guy and they throw him the ball. Those are pretty much the only two things they're doing out of 3x1 formations right now. And again, you can't be that simple and that siloed. Like, teams are going to get a very binary. Okay, the Eagles are in 3x1. Is the tight end attached to the line? Yes, it's a run play. No, it's going to be a ball to A.J. Brown isolated. And so you want to ISO A.J. Brown, but you've got to have some other things too. Like, if every time you go 3x1, it's a run or you're isolating A.J. Brown, well, now we can just straight up cover the three guys on the other side with three guys. We can push coverage to A.J. Brown and have a stacked box. And so the Eagles are still just far too simple in what they're doing. And guys, I wasn't studying this in depth. I was watching A.J. Brown's routes for the player spotlight video. And I was like, you know what? I think every time A.J. Brown is solo, they throw it to him. And every time he's on the three receiver side, it's a run play. And I started watching for it. And they're as easy as day. And so teams know this, and the Eagles are going to have to get some counters off of that.
Yeah, another amazing Patreon plug, but it's amazing what you can do when you have the time to just watch a player. It's a really cool thing. I'm jealous, actually, that I'm not doing it this year because I'm doing the preview, but I'm living it vicariously through watching you two do it, as in you and Eric, because it's really, you see a lot more than you realise when you watch specific play, because we don't have the time. No one does. No film guy watches every play of one player every time, unless you watch a game about 22 times back to back, which I don't think anyone does. To answer Mark's question he just put in, no, I don't think it's realistic they're hiding things. They could be like 1 and 2. They should be 2 and 1. They should have lost this game, let's be real. And they could have easily lost the other two. So I'd hide what as well? Hide that you're going to throw to A.J. Brown down the field 1-on-1. Like, again, to me, that's galaxy braining it. I think they're just not very good schematically right now. Right, we said we'd be quicker, and let's go for 5 minutes, shall we? Let's go for a quick summary, because otherwise we end up rushing the defense. So I'm going to talk about Jalen Hurts very briefly. I'm not going to show loads of clips. I'm just going to say that I think he's been awesome through 3 weeks. I think for all the talk of how talented this offense is, we don't talk about the fact that I'm watching a Rams offense with so much more schematic genius than the Eagles, and it's not close. And Stafford's missing guys left, right, and center in the second half as well. The media darling Matt Stafford, who I think is awesome. But the idea, and I'm not going to go through the Stephen Marie's Jalen Hurts comment to get him rankings, but the idea that guys like Stroud get ranked above him, like, has anyone watched Stroud play for the past 15 games? You posted Hurts stats. They are ridiculous. He doesn't turn the ball over. He wins basically every game he starts. Some of his throws in this game were really, really good. You've already shown the A.J. Brown one down the field. We get used to how good that is. That ball is dropped in a bucket. He was, I think, very good processing in this game. I think when he had chances to get through his reads, he did. I'll only just show one play, just to sort of moan about people who say they can't throw to the middle of the field. Play 11 on the film thread. The Eagles run mesh with a cross against zone, and shock horror, Shane, it doesn't work for the 15,000th time when they run mesh with a crosser behind it. This time they run Devontae Smith.
I cannot wait to yell about mesh against zone when I do my past game review.
This time they run Devontae Smith on the longest backside dig, whatever you want to call it, I've ever seen in my life. But luckily pass protection holds up. But look at Hurts get through this. He gets through the initial mesh cross, realizes he's not going to be there, finally gets backside, and he throws this quite early. If you look at when he throws this, if you actually just go back to when he releases the ball, it's earlier than you think. Devontae Smith has just come creeping out behind the linebacker when he basically throws it. Look at that. That is early. So for all the talk about Hurts, mid of the field, as I said, I think he can do it. I think it's just not used enough. Do I think it's his specialism? No. But shout out QB1. I think he's played really, really well this year. And compared to what I see from other quarterbacks around the league, I think the floor is so high with Hurts. And it is by no means a fluke that the Eagles win so many games.
Yeah. All right. So good stuff there on the offense. Well, that's kind of arrogant, I guess, to say good stuff on the offense. Good job, guys.
By them.
Hopefully you guys think that was good stuff on the offense. But we are going to flip over and talk about the defensive side of the ball. And again, if you would like more on the offense, we've got so much stuff in the Patreon and in the Discord. You can check it out. This is kind of meant to be like a summary of a lot of the things that we
the
cover
whole passing game
more
review,
in detail there.
I'm looking forward to see how bad
that'll
that
be
first
out
round is. That first
maybe
half
tonight.
Is...
Yeah, maybe tonight or tomorrow for sure. So,
your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. And this one is specifically for new customers who can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PINPULL. That's code PINPULL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bet expires 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.